Alright, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Tazdak, Hero Israel. Before I get started, I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today we're going to go into in the news. Haven't done one recently, so I thought I'd go into it. So Lord willing, you're edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makah Kodash. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Lord willing, you're edified. So let's get right into it, right? Because you have, right, these recent attacks in Israel by a group named Hamas, right? Which, according to the book of Ezekiel, right? Let's get that actually. Scriptures say that the least of the flock shall draw them out, right? That's talking about what the small hats, which are currently in that land, right? There's going to be some type of conflict that is going to bring about, right? The third woe, right? Which is written, right? To come to pass, right? So let's get that scripture and keep in mind, right? That the word Hamas, it means violence in Hebrew, right? But the point is that Ishmael, which are the so-called Arabs, and Esau, which are the Edomites, right? Today they always had, right, a particular. You even read about that in the Book of Genesis, right? You have particular marriages that were given, that were made, right, in order to form certain alliances, right? Even today, right, you always had a struggle between those two tribes, right, to kind of keep good relations, right? But the point is also you got to keep in mind that, right, these things could also be false flags, right, false events, right, distractions created by Esau Edom, right, to confuse the masses, right, to in order for them to be able to make more unrighteous decrees or whatever their plan may be in the background, right? So let's get right into it. We're gonna go on to the Twitter feed, which you have. This is from N Wokeness. It says Rep. Rashida Tlaib is asked 10 times to condemn Hamas terrorism, right? So you have to the right here, what is a so-called Edomite and a so-called, well, here they're Congress. This is a congressman and woman, right? But they're clearly, right, Ishmaelites, right? Now you see she is pressing them concerning the recent attacks, right? So you have also what Yahweh spoke about. He said that what Satan will be divided against Satan, right? And this is where you have, right, this reporter keeps pressing this. Let's take a look at the video actually. So. If you do not condone what Hamas terrorists have done to Israel, terrorists have cut off babies' heads and burned children alive. Do you support Israel's rights to defend themselves against this brutality? We're just gonna go through here. You can't comment about Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads. Congresswoman, do you have a comment on Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads? You have nothing to say about Hamas terrorists chopping off babies' heads? Do you condone what Hamas has done, chopping off? So this is what's going on. You have these relationships between these heathen nations going sour, right? And ultimately, right? Let's get that book of Ezekiel. because clearly, right, both sides they don't belong in that land, right? You have the 1948ers, right, which set up that land, right, and allegedly, right, they're the people of the Lord, but there's still war down there, right? Then you have the other side, right, which both of these sides they're created in order to push a mindset, right? You have what's called the good cop, bad cop strategy, right? And but at the end of the day, right, the majority don't really know what's going on because you have a lot of those Ishmaelites indoctrinized, right, in their so-called religion. Then you have the Edomites, which clearly, right, some of them are indoctrinated, right. Even you read about secular history, right, you have certain Edomites that when they were converted by the, for example, I believe that was during the time of what was it? Let's see if we can get that real quick. Well, we're not going to go into that right now, but right from the time Antiochus Epiphanes even to 70 A.D., right, you had particular Edomites that had converted, right. You even read about that in what is that? In the book of Esther, right? You have particular heathens that were converted, right, to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and so on and so forth, right? Which today, right, they're keeping it their own way, right? But like I said, right, you always had particular Edomites, even right in the siege of Jerusalem, right? You had them fighting alongside Jake, right? Because they were right keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and things of that sort. But at the end of the day, that's not going to bring them salvation, right? That's just something that they were made to keep in past times, right? So, like I said, right, most of these both of these sides and most of these people over there, right, they're either indoctrinated, right, and then you have right the few, right, which perform these councils in the background, right. They really know what's going on, right. Just like you have particular Edomites here on this side, right. They don't exactly know the plans of the wicked elite, right. They just kind of right follow orders or whatever, right. The case may be, right. So this is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 45, which says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he hath purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." Right? So you're gonna have these particular conflict, right? Whether this may be a false flag or real, right? It's gonna happen first in that land, right? There's gonna be an escalation, right? So our job is to keep an eye on prophecy, right? Because you had right in past times they were disputing some kind of gas pipeline in that area, right? So right, our job is to watch, right, like how Shai said, right, and like scriptures say, measure the time diligently within itself, right. So something is going to kick off down there, right, and then you're gonna have right all hell break loose, right, and the Lord is stirring up the nations at the end of the day, right. For example, the next video here, you have looting and Sacramento County, right? Let's take a look at the video. Slovakia.
I go French, nigga!
Right, and these are all a means to right, to create chaos, right, order out of chaos, which ultimately, right, will lead to the charagma being issued, right? Because you have even, for example, a particular law in California that any looting, right, which is below 900 cannot be prosecuted, right? Which again, this is in Philly, right? It says Bright 8 looted in Philly. Let's take a look at it. So this is from Just Downtown. If you're a Christian, you should be looking at what is going on in Israel and looking back in the Bible to see what is going on prophetically, right? Which, he doesn't know what's going on because, right, our job is to hold the truth and, right, to edify, right? You have other so-called followers of Scripture that, right, they don't necessarily understand things like the prophetic word, right? So this is another post that says Hamas is claiming Ukraine sold them the weapons they used in the attack today against Israel, right? There's another video where the so-called Iranians, their leaders, celebrated those recent attacks, right? You have this. This is another post. It says, actually, we're not going to go into that. That's just something I posted. This is from Ian Miles Cheong. Hundreds of civilians run from an outdoor party after it's attacked by Hamas. Now, this looks like a sort of false flag event, right? So you have this, what Esau Edom does, mix truth with lies, right? But again, there's always been conflict in that particular part of the earth, right? In order for the Lord, right, what He spoke of, right, to ultimately be fulfilled in its due time, right? So this is from Vizgrad 24. Says video emerges of Palestinian terror groups creating a civilian Israeli woman, capturing, taking her back to Gaza on a motorcycle. Right, so you got Ishmaelites, you got what looks like Hamites there, right? They don't know what's going on, you know? So this is another post. Israel declared a state of war, first time since 1973. Right. Hamas launched unprecedented attacks on Israel, entering Israeli territory. Right. So this isn't just an everyday, right, conflict. Right. These are things that are happening which are out of the norm. Right. Which is why we have to watch and see where this goes. Right. But we know the least of the flock are the Amalekites that are in that land. Right. The Lord is gonna stir up these Ishmaelites, and ultimately, right, there's gonna be right, a a a point in which there's gonna be an escalation, right? However the Lord brings it, right, ultimately, right, He's going to perform, right, his word, because that's what the scriptures say, right? Says breaking news: Iran's parliament is chanting "Death to America." Right? They have the particular video, right, which I don't have it here, where they're looking at the attacks, and right. So these are the things that aren't necessarily right in the news. These aren't your daily headlines, right? Your daily headline is going to be a particular topic that is recycled and reused, right? This is what the what's called the press is not going into, right? As a whole, right? So these are the things that we touch upon. We don't touch upon, right? Every single matter that happens in these propaganda machines, which is called the mass media, right? So this is another post, right? It says nuclear extinction. Putin has threatened annihilation if a nuclear strike is detected, right? Which even Putin, he looks like he's gaining a little weight. He looks a little worried, right?
Потому что с момента обнаружения старта ракет хочу заверить всех, что на сегодняшний день ответ является абсолютно неприемлемым для любого потенциального агрессора. Потому что с момента обнаружения старта ракет, откуда бы это ни исходило, из любой точки Мирового океана, либо с какой бы то ни было территории, в ответ на встречном ударе в воздухе появляется такое количество, столько сотен наших ракет, что шансов на выживание ни у одного противника не останется. Причем сразу на нескольких направлениях. Хочу заверить всех, что на сегодняшний день ответ является абсолютно неприемлемым для...
So you said from any part of the earth, right? That's some, right? Big talk from Russia, right? This is from Mayaka Allah, Yasha Allah. Says these celebrities aren't hiding shit anymore. This is from Wikipedia. Says Mayura is a Sanskrit word for peacock. She's one of the sacred birds of the Hindu culture, right? And when you start to take these second takes at these celebrities, they start to look like these heathens, right? Because, right. But again, it could be Jake, but right, you look at like these older rappers, right? As they get older, right, they start to look like Hamites, right? Which are not the same as the Negroes, right? The two distinct tribes, which are the African Americans and the African, but they're mingled amongst themselves too, right? Just like, right. So this is what Esau does, right? He gets these celebrities that look like Jake. Some of them are Jake, right? But they're really heathens. They push what a the mindset that Esau wants them to push, right? Which is why this is called the land of confusion, right? Babylon, and it's called Babylon the Great for a reason, right? This is a green snake covered in fur was found in Thailand. This dragon-like creature is 60 centimeters long, right? Scriptures speak about what? Newly created creatures, right? Salakia, let me turn on the brightness in this thing. Look at that, right? Some kind of freak snake experiment, right? This is from Charles Cox. Josue Garriga, one of the cops who beat LaCaine Woods, is a Latino immigrant who has a history of killing black men while on duty in Florida, right? And that don't look like no damn Jake. That looks like a Cushite or something, right? So you never know. I mean, that could be Jake, right? But Esau, you know, he's happy, right? Because he's doing his dirty work, right? And that, right? Jake looks off, right? Whether it be a Jake or not, I don't think so. Right? You have let's look at this video.
How much money do I have to make to date you?
More than me.
Which is?
I can't say that, but a pretty good penny, yeah?
Okay. So, do you think that when you shake ass in the camera and stuff, like men are gonna look at this and be like, that's a girl who I want to make my wife?
I don't give a fuck. I don't want these. Man, let me tell you something, baby. I was raised by my father. Fuck you niggas. I'll date one of you niggas and I keep two in the chamber.
So,
At all times. At all times. Fuck you niggas. I don't give a fuck. I'm my wife.
do you not want to be a wife one day, though? Do you not want to be a wife one day, though?
When I'm old. When you shake ass, I need to know your connotation. I'm a lot of niggas' wife. Okay. I'm a lot of niggas' type.
Do you have a ring?
I got plenty of rings. Bitch, I forgot to put my other pinky ring on. I might stop. Let me put the light on that shit.
But has a man ever...
Let's put the ice on that shit. Yeah.
There's the mindset of Eve and you women in general, right? Which is right pride and right. Lord's gonna humble a lot of you right when Jacob's trouble right the kicks off right, which is really now right, but there's gonna be a boiling point in which right things will get more right more risky right. So there's another post. The streets of Levere, Portugal were flooded with red wine after a distillery's 2.2 million liter tanks burst. Right, which the Lord is just giving you a preview of what He's gonna bring, right, in World War III, right? Scriptures say, right, it will read the let's get that actually. Something to the effect of to the horse's bridle, right? Which is speaking about the bloodshed that the Lord is bringing, right, to the earth. Revelation 14 and 20, they were trampled in the winepress outside the city, and blood flowed out of the press, rising as high as the horse's bridles for a distance of 1,600 stadia, which is furlongs in other translations, or 200 miles, like it says here in the NASB 1995. So you have, right, the World Economic Forum, right, again, going into more of their councils on the left hand side. Yeah, well, Donald Trump, right, popping up again in the news like he always does. And these Edomites look, they got this particular look, like they're worn out. They're tired of the shit that's going on. And ultimately, right, nations are kind of tired of going at it too, right? Here's another video, right, going into herd mentality, right? So-called farmer threw what is that looks like a goat into the water, and the rest go jumping in, right? Which is what 2/3 are gonna do, and these other nations, majority of them are gonna take the charagma, right? When that time comes. Let's look at this Black Lives Matter organizer in Chicago.
Somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it because these businesses have insurance. They're going to get that. My people aren't getting anything. If somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's.
All right. And we know this is controlled opposition, just like what's going on over there, right? In the Holy Land, right? So our job is to watch, right, and line it up with these prophecies, right? This is from Disclosed TV. CIA is preparing to roll out an AI for U.S. spy agencies to sift through huge amounts of available data, right? Which is what Esau is doing now, preparing, right, these databases, right, for when it's time for them FEMA camps, right? They already got, right, a vast array of data, right, to sift out, right, and categorize these the nations, right, Jake, right, and right, this is what he's doing now, right, seeing who's more susceptible, right, who's more likely to take the charagma, right, who is more susceptible to his fear mongering, right? And so on and so forth, right? This is from Raw's Alerts. President Joe Biden says the black community will suffer if the government shutdown occurs. This is in Oklahoma. Hazmat crews are on the scene after oil is shooting out from the ground. Which that's not even a complete sentence. Doesn't sound right. It should say hazmat crews are on the scene after oil is seen shooting out from the ground. That's what you call lazy journalism, right? You have more of his fear mongering here, right? This is from 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes discovered the U.S. is financing more than weapons in Ukraine. The government is buying seeds, fertilizer for farmers, paying the salaries of 57,000 first responders. Which is what Esau is doing, you know. This thing in Ukraine is really, right, is more than just a fight for those particular lands, right? You have Esau, right? He sends message through his media, through his particular conflicts, right? Basically, this is a way to tell the other Edomites, right, to prepare, right, and be on point, right? For example, in this part of the earth, you have certain Edomites, right, doing CrossFit, right, and bulking up, right, preparing for what's coming, right. You have Elon Musk and his robots. More looting. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Because the feed is not loading anymore. Okay, never mind. This is from Illuminati Bot. UK governments admit chemtrails are real.
Hair like wool, eyes like a flame of fire, feet like fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace. Hair like wool, eyes like a flame of fire, feet like fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace.
Right, so that's so-called Edomite admitting that Christ is black, right? So again, even right, these everyday Edomites know, right, that right, we're living in exciting times, right? You have Snoop Dogg and Bill Gates, which these are hired, right, false shepherds, right, in order to lead Jake astray, right, whether they be Jake or not, right. They're paid and bought for, right. This is another post from Illuminati Bot. Facial recognition to board a plane in Houston. All right, let's take a look at the video.
So we're going through Houston Airport.
doing all biometrics now. Check it out. Welcome to 1984.
Thank you, Nicholas. You're all set.
Thank you.
Right, and that's what they're gonna say when they give you that charagma, right? You're all set, Nicholas. Right. Which they're gonna have all your data at the click of a button, right? So let's scroll on down, see what else we can find. You got these Edomites battling with their weapons, right? Again, these are a means to push a particular mindset, right? And they're showing you that, right? They're preparing for conflict, right? This is from Rawls Alerts. Reports of smoke rising from Idaho's National Lab, which tests advanced nuclear energy. This is from Idaho Falls. Plumes of white smoke have reportedly been observed rising from the desert area above the Idaho National Laboratory. You have this from Fallon 144. All praises, more congregations come now and teaching water baptism and admitting fault to the doctrine against it. Right? Which you can easily cut the scripture, right? So let's get that real quick. I believe Paul the Apostle said that. Anyways, there's plenty of precepts on that, right? You just have to go into the Word, right? But for time's sake, right? Let's just move on. You have that one in Book of Hebrews, right? Where the Paul the Apostle said, let's go into perfection, leaving apart, right, these cardinal ordinances, right? Surely paraphrasing. And that water is really supposed to be the word, right? Being renewed in your mind, right? Which that word renew means to refresh, right? To reform, right? That's part of repenting, is what seeking the word and understanding it, right? The Lord gives the increase, right, to each particular individual. So let's move on. This is from Elon Musk. The first human patient will soon receive a Neuralink device. This ultimately has the potential to restore full body movement. I believe I went over that post where they went over these test test substances, right? These mice, and trying that brain implant on them, which failed horribly, right? This from End Time Headlines. Elon Musk and Neuralink are looking for volunteers to trial brain computer chip. You have that instance here where that the jet, $80 million jet, was missing, was flying with no pilot. You have right. So this guy has been cut. Here's another instance where he got cut. Right. So the Lord is gonna try every man's work, like the scriptures say. So, anyways, that's pretty much it, right? So with that, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Makakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Lord, when you're edified, Kwame Shalom.